Okay, everyone, take a look. Kill to death ratio is up to 0.25. I am getting better. During my rant video, I was at 0.234, so I am getting better. Anyone who commented that I would never get better playing casual breakthrough, there's proof that that is not the case. I am getting better. Please notice, yes, I play support. I play recon mostly, but I also play support, especially when we're losing, to try to keep our guys alive. I'm going to try to answer a bunch of the comments. I went to bed last night. There were 500 views and 25 comments. I woke up this morning to 2,500 views and about 200 comments. And I spent the morning going through the 200 comments, reading and responding to some of them. Well, I read all the comments. I've commented to them, a lot of them. By the time I finished that, it was early afternoon. I was up to 5,000 views and like 300 comments. I went through those. It's a never-ending story. I'm going to keep working on it. I want to try to respond and read as much as I can. Thank you so much. You have blown my mind. I never expected it to take off like that. Not that I'm like, critical drinker with millions of views, but it's way more than I've ever had outside of a video I posted with Family Feud with a woman named Double D. It's hilarious. Go watch it. But it's not original content. But I am humbled by the views and your interaction. I never knew I'd strike a chord with so many people my age. But I'm going to try to answer some or a lot of the questions that you guys posted. First, the PC. I play on a PC, keyboard, mouse. I use a G13 by Logitech for my left-hand controller. It's kind of like a, oh, look at this. I love blowing tanks. 364 packs. Boom. Okay. You get a lot of kills that way, too. So I use the G13 for my left hand, and my right hand is a Logitech mouse. It has 5 buttons on it. I use the trigger. Left mouse button is the trigger. Right mouse button I actually use to walk forward. That is something I got muscle memory from when I played Wolfenstein 3D back in the day. Center mouse button and wheel. The wheel switches weapons. Pushing down does the knife kill. The thumb controls the aim down sights, ADS. It pulls up my specials like the C4 pack or the defibrillator paddles. And so that's how I'm set up. When I first fired up Battlefield 6, I tried to leave everything kind of default. I couldn't. It was horrible. My muscle memory from 20 years ago kept getting in the way. I'd push a button thinking I was going to like jump, and I ended up like throwing a grenade or something. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So it took me forever to get it reset up. I think I'm doing better. If you watch the video, I'm doing a lot better than I was in the rant video. Let's see. One comment was that I keep aiming low at like feet. When the beta came out, I had no add-ons to I had no handles or anything on the guns. So when I pulled the trigger, the recoil would actually lift the barrel. So I got in this habit of shooting at their knees and just let the recoil walk it under their chest. It's a bad habit. I'm working on it. Thank you for pointing it out. One comment, a lot of comments came in about how to get better. I appreciate it. One that did resonate was to go into the HUD and change the size of the red dots over the enemies. So I changed it from 100 to 120. So everybody else, the blues, the greens, everybody else is a 100, but the bad guys are a 120. And at the end of this level, at the end of Thursday night, I moved that up to 125. It's made a huge difference. I agree with everybody with the suppressors and the flash hiders. That's all I use. But the problem with silencers, you got to unlock those sons of bitches, and you got to grind to do it. Thermal optics, same thing. I just last night finally unlocked my first thermal on my MP5. And it's a game changer. It really is. It's huge. It's not in this video. It'll be in the next one. So I hear you. I've read the comments. Everybody who wanted to be a friend request, I've sent out the friend requests. Thank you. I am honored and humbled. I just want to play the game. I just want to have fun. To the one guy that said that if I had 99% of my brain removed, I would still never be as good as him gaming, I have to agree. When I was his age, I was too busy trying to get laid than I was trying to play a video game. So you're right. You're better than me. I accept that. But I bet you I had, more fun when I was younger than you did. Let's see. Now, there was one comment that popped up just before I started doing this voiceover. It's kind of got me worked up. Somebody started calling me a misogynist because I complained about the female voice in my ear when I made a medic call. To anybody that feels that way, tough shit. Okay, I am a military veteran, and if you have never served, if you have ever put on the uniform and served, then okay, I'll listen to you. But if you're just somebody who's butthurt because I don't think women should serve in active duty military or in combat units, including warships, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And until you go out to sea, until you serve and understand the politics, the female politics that get involved, and like I said this when I was in the Navy, black and white, that's in the top of your head, right? That's mental conditioning, right? You can, anybody that's racist, that's a mental condition, right? You can get over that. Men and women is down below the waist. There's other things at play. You can't not see her when you're on a warship. And let me explain something to you. So I served in the Navy. I went to sea. I've been to sea for a long time. And let me tell you something. After about 3-4 months at sea, George starts looking good. There's a reason why sailors have girls in every port. And you start putting women in that mix, you start creating problems. Men start playing favorites. Men start, trying to woo the girl. It creates all kinds of problems that do not need to exist in a combat environment. If you don't agree with me, put on a uniform. Go to sea, and at the end of a 6-month or 9-month cruise, you tell me if I'm wrong. So hopefully that answers her question. And if she still doesn't like it, tough shit. You're not going to change my opinion on that because I've been there. I've served. I've seen how it affects men. And, ships are too damn small. Look, when you take a room the size of your double-car garage and you put 53 men in it to sleep, eat, shower, and live, 53 men in your garage. Now put a woman in there and have them at sea for 3 or 4 months. And you tell me that there isn't going to be sexual politics involved. True story. I was working, I had a career job. I was an engineer for big companies. And one of my customers was a retired Navy corpsman on a carrier. And he was a chief petty officer. And we got along, right? Here's and by the way, my 2 cents worth on veterans. If you served, it's for anybody who hasn't served. This is how it kind of works. If you served, you went to the same college, right? You're alumni together, and then the branch of service is like what fraternity you were in. My best friend is a Marine, and he's the jarhead, and I'm ex-Navy, and I'm the squid, and we still bust each other's chops about it. But by God, anybody who makes fun of the military in our presence, yeah. Strap in, buddy. You're in for a ride. So I was talking to him one day over a business lunch, and he told me that this woman came. This is after the carriers went co-ed. They were the first because they were the biggest ships. He said this woman came to him, and she was complaining that it peed when she urinated. That's the clap for anybody that doesn't know. And he asked her, he's like, well, have you had sex with anybody on the ship? And she goes, yes. So he says, you more than one? She said, yes. And he's like, well, here's a legal size piece of paper, 8.5 by 14. By the way, I'm playing support for anybody who says play support roles, right? And play roles that help the team. Anyways, here's a piece of paper, 8.5 by 14. Put the names down of anybody that you've had sex with, because they got it too. 2 columns. Front and back. I need more paper. She was running a prostitution ring on the carrier, $20 a pop. So it causes problems. So, lady, if you're listening to this rant, strap on a uniform and go to sea. And at the end of 9 months, come back and we'll have a chat about the fairness of my misogyny. All right. I hope that's the end of hopefully that rant. I have this tendency of I'm done with the rant, but then I come back and I rant some more. Anyways, this is how I'm playing. And one guy. Oh, by the way, one guy made a comment. He said, "Keep slaying him, Grandpa." Cracked me up, and it was hilarious. And to the guy who said that my first rant wasn't "quote unquote" up to military standards or up to Navy standards, you should have heard my first one. I was afraid I'd get kicked off YouTube if I posted it. And my wife and daughter had a problem with a couple of the terms I used already. This one will also go under the hide your kids, hide your wives statement, and Navy talk is in it. So anyways, thank you again, and I don't know what to talk about anymore. I've done my rant. I don't want to get back on that topic. Look, if you guys want me to rant about the military, especially you vets out there, man, yeah, you know the difference between a fairy tale and a sea story. One starts with once upon a time, the other one starts with this is no bullshit. But I'll be more than happy to tell sea stories, and I can get very salty, and I'm going to be offending a lot of the people who live in their basements, sucking on Twinkies. Now, this is interesting, right? This guy that I'm chasing, he's right there. See the red dot in front of me? Now, he's really good, right? He's hiding. He keeps killing people. There's another guy that drops. I'm trying to get him. He shoots at me. I dodge, right? Part of the advice people are giving me. So then I swing around, and then I get him after he's reloading and running away. So I did take your advice to heart. I'm trying not to frontal assaults like that so much. So anyways, I guess that kind of wraps up this video. I've been rambling on long enough. I do appreciate the views. I am truly humbled that you guys would watch my content and take the time to write comments, good or bad. I read them all, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if you guys want to friend me, I am Wadib. Feel free to. I've set up a TeamSpeak server so that I can have an isolated voice over IP communication with my squad. So we're not having to listen to all the other crap on Battlefield. If you never looked at TeamSpeak, just Google it. I've got the server set up. If you instant message me, I will give you the login information. And so I mean that's I don't know. I guess that's about it. If you guys want to keep watching, there's still 2 more minutes of me running and gunning on this clip. This was kind of interesting right there. There was I mean that was an actual human that was running in. He knew I was there. I don't understand, right? He ran out of the garage there, was coming into the container I was in as an actual human, not a bot. I thought it was a bot, and I ended up dropping him. Now, but if you look here, I mean this is my MP5. I have a 4.5 X optic. I know guys are like, don't go bigger than 1.5, 1.75 on the optics. Yeah, I've tried them. The thing I like about the MP5 is it's still pretty good. I can still reach out 100 yards and pop somebody. I might have to hit them 6 or 7 times to get them, but I can still hit them. I kind of like the 4.5X optic. Now I just unlocked the thermal. The thermal is a 1.5X. So I'm kind of have to readjust, the views of using a smaller or less power optic. And so I'm taking that to heart. But yeah, this has a suppressor. I'm grinding on the MP5 throughout this whole night. I'm trying to get that thermal unlocked. And of course there's another tank, right? God, those tanks. Yeah, and guys tell me to play a tank. I can play a tank. It's just not as fun. People tell me to sit in the back and, fly the drone. I've done that too. That's how I unlock some weapons and some stuff. By the way, I came back as an engineer. There's that tank. I want him. And, I've tried sitting. It's just, guys, it's not fun, right? I mean, and yes, I've heard people say, play Battlefield 3, play Battlefield 4. Well, I was a Battlefield 2 junkie. I racked up. I was like a colonel on Battlefield 2. Played my ass off. And Battlefield 3 and 4 came out. I don't know. I'm like, it's not Battlefield 2, right? So I never got into it. There's number 2. And but this one, Battlefield 6, really scratching the itch. This game is so cool. I love blowing buildings up, tanks. And there he goes. Boom. God, I love blowing tanks. Look at that, 6 kills. So, anyways, it's cycling back over. There's my stats. Thank you so much for watching. I am humbled and honored. Send a friend request. I have a buddy. I told you my best friend's a Marine, right? He bought the game. I can't get his ass on the game. And I'm just like, dude, I need to squat up. I need you. And I'm gonna, it's nice out. It's my wife's in, a G-string. I don't know. I get all kinds of excuses. But yeah, I can't seem to get him on to play. Hustler, if you're watching, get your ass on here, man. Everybody wants to see you. Anyways, thank you so much. I appreciate everything. And send the comments. I'm telling you, I killed my whole Saturday reading those comments. And some of them, I was laughing out loud, calling the wife over, having to. I'll be fair, I had to calm my daughter down a couple times, going, "What the hell does this mean?" But I did read them. I read every one of them, and I thank you so much. And keep playing, old timers. Old timers unite. Who knows? Maybe Dice will watch this and set up a. Hey, type your age in here, and you can play the geriatric league. Anyways, this is Muad'Dib, out.